it's a great time, and I think I'm a badass. We can always bleep that out, right?
Hey, what's going on today's episode? In this episode, we are out on a little cruise, just left the marina. It has been busy in the marina so far. Lots of inconsiderate people with the no wake zone, but that's cool. In today's episode, we got some friends along, some new friends from the marina. We got to steer around a sailboat here. So the kids are going to be, I'm sure, swimming lots, screaming, all of that good stuff, and we'll get some of that on there. But I am going to go through some things of basically, not VHF radio, basically what we've kind of learned here in a couple of months of living in the marina, what we've learned about our boat, if it's a boat that we actually like. Again, this is so new to us. It's like, ooh, what, now that we've been on it, what maybe would we change? What would we do different? You know, all of those things. So I'm going to be going through some of that with you here once we get out a little bit further. The sun is not kind to my bottom lip, so I just put straight up sun stick on it. None of that SPF chapstick for me. Found us a spot. I'm looking a little rough on the water today, huh? So long as we don't get any big sport fish or anything else, chunk up some waves, we'll be in good shape. So then we got this guy. Did I mention the sport fishes that just don't care about anyone else? They were coming right at us and veered off. Silas is first man in.
That first jump in is like always the scariest, but then you're like,
Here, I'll tell you, Julia, Trinity cried the first time we were out here. Not just about jumping in there, but about getting in the water off the swim platform. So don't let her, you take your time and don't let them pressure you, okay? She's gonna act tough. She's gonna act tough now.
Are you going to go down there?
Huh?
Are you going to go like in the water?
Yeah, I might jump in a little bit. Not with this.
I don't like jumping in by myself.
Walmart.
Best Buy. Walmart?
Yeah.
Walmart?
Yeah, this one's from Walmart.
Someone, do you want to go first? Heck no.
I'll jump in with you.
I'm too scared. Come on. It's not because of the ocean. It's just I'm scared of what's in the ocean.
Oh my gosh, so basically.
Silas ain't afraid.
I know, Silas is fine. Has Silas jumped yet?
Yeah, he just went ahead and jumped. He wasn't waiting on anyone.
I don't.
Oh my god.
Zayd, show him how it's done.
Isaiah, come over here. Let Isaiah go with us.
Wait, how are you guys? No, Isaiah can just go in by himself. Are you guys scared?
I love how Isaiah's just like.
You guys gonna go 10 times before they ever get in?
Yeah,
wait.
Here, let the wet kids through so they can get the towel wet.
Yes, please get the towel.
Yeah.
I really don't trust Silas. I'm like, I'm backing
Yeah,
up.
no, I don't think anybody trusts Silas.
Oh, you guys can show off for the pontoon going by.
Exactly. Show off.
Yes, look, they're right there.
No, jump.
They want to see it.
Trinity, jump. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Is it because it's that time of day, or is it because we're out on the boat that you're eating? Is that what you plan?
Trying to avoid children.
Is that what you plan boating around? Is got to make sure we have food.
Yeah,
Or is it
because
just
this
'cause
is late
it's
for me. I didn't.
It is late.
I didn't have my lunch until 1:20. So yeah, this is lunch.
You okay? Probably should check your pulse. See
I'm
if
fine
everything's
because
all right.
I was hungry, but I had 2 cups of coffee this morning.
Oh, good grief. You could have gone till 1:40, I bet. You had another 20 minutes. All right, so some of the things that I like, dislike, disgruntled with what we have going on right now with the boat. Now, keep in mind, this is a serious Ermacher problem. This is a first world big time problem. All right, now we're getting down to a little nitpicky. But one of the reasons we bought this boat was, one, to live aboard, two, to go places. So I think it will be fantastic, which we have not done yet, to go to the Bahamas, the rest of the Caribbean, because it's super efficient. We've got two 220 horse Cummins diesels, under 300 hours on them right now. Super efficient. I think between the two of them, we only burn like 6 gallons an hour. So we're very efficient on our cruising. It's cheap to do it, cheap considering that we're on a boat. And so I think it'll be fantastic for that. Here's the other side of that too, is we're on the Gulf side, and so to get around, and, you know, people keep saying you can go through. I get it, we can go, but we're still like 3, 4, 5 days to get to the Bahamas. So time is one of those things. We're slow.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
So how can you be efficient but faster? So our regular cruising speed, about 8 knots. We obviously can go faster, but then you burn more, so then there's the payoff between the two. So we're in a really ideal thing. It's funny, we got kids on here too that have been around sailboats, other boats and everything else, and they came on here and they're like, whoa, it's so big. That's what she said. I gotta see that. She said that.
I'll be talking in a couple minutes.
Will she?
I'm
We'll
gonna
see.
say a couple
We'll
things,
see.
yeah.
So again, we have things. It's our first boat. There's things you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So good for long cruises. 500 gallons a diesel gets you a long ways, burning only 6 gallons an hour. Big boat. I mean, we got lots of space on here. For the size of the boat, relatively shallow draft too, only 3.5 feet. So it's good for the Bahamas, the Caribbean. So lots of good things about it. But here's the other side of that is, I want to go out often. And so when we're a slow cruiser from our slip, just to get to Egmont Key, which I'll look to see how much the mileage. Let me look now to see what that is. Okay, so I just looked on the Navionics, and it is 20 miles from our slip to Egmont Key. So here's what stinks about that is slow. I mean, we'd be out there 2.5, 3 hours to get there, to hang out there. You know, what do you hang out? 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is. But then 2.5, 3 hours back. You know, you got a half hour to an hour of docking and cleaning up and all of those things. So now you spent, let's say, 6 or 7 hours of your time so that you could go play for 3 or 4. That's the stinky part about a big, slow beast, is it's not good for, it's still great. Here's the other, look behind me. This is Tampa Bay. So again, I'm complaining. I think the water in Tampa Bay right now looks like a dang toilet bowl. It is terrible. It looks like an outhouse bowl.
Yeah, when
so,
you guys jumped into it, it looked very brown.
Yeah, and it doesn't look any different out here compared to when we're in our slip. It's just, St. Pete is not treating this water well. I don't think anyone else around it probably is either, but we hear a lot more about St. Pete dumping untreated or partially treated sewage in here. So it'd be different. Right now we just cruised out, I want to say a mile and a half, I don't know. That'd be a different story if we're in the Bahamas in a slip and we cruise out a mile and a half. We're probably in really deep water because it goes into the shallows and then it gets deep water. So that'd be a different story if we could cruise out a mile, spend 10-15 minutes cruising out here, drop anchor, or just drift like we are now. Then it would be a completely different story because we'd have really nice water. I mean, the visibility now, I want to say I could just barely see the tip of my fins when I was in the water earlier. So the visibility is like 7 feet tops, I want to say, even in a fully light sunny day like what it is. So that's why we would have to get out to the Gulf, and even then has its days when it's sucky water, you know. So those are some of the things. It's like, all right, do you have long range, good efficiency in our case, and have a long cruiser and then not use it much for weekly cruising? Well, and we have our second boat, but it's over in Tierra Verde, and then there's the additional expenses. Yeah, it's in a great spot. I mean, it's just right out the channel of Paso Grill, and we're in the Gulf. But then you have the expense of a second boat, the fuel on that, the maintenance, all of those things. So again, remember, we're talking about some serious Jeff problems here. But this is what we want to do, is we want to spend time on the boat. We want to spend time on the water. I don't mind living in the slip, but I did not move onto a boat to sit in the slip. I want to go out and do stuff. So then there's the next thing. All right, what would it be if we had I don't even know, because I know so little about boats. What type of boat would be, maybe we go from a 53 to a 40-ish foot. But now we can comfortably cruise, maybe not as efficient, but still comfortably cruise at 15 to 18 knots. Again, I don't know if that's a possibility. Would that be something better? So now if we were to cruise around to Egmont and out into the Gulf, then we only spend an hour and a half maybe, getting out there. Would that be a different story? But then everything is smaller, So then we give up our full-size fridge more than likely. More of the kind of full-size kitchen maybe would give up, but we've got a lot of space too. We still kind of have that undesignated space. So I don't know. So those are some of the things we're thinking about, or I'm thinking about. We'll hear from Stacy in a moment. I'm going to continue unloading.
That's fine, unload.
It comes back to the water situation. I'm afraid we get to the Bahamas and the Caribbean and the water looks amazing. And why, if I want to spend time on the water, would I want to come back here? I mean, I like St. Pete otherwise.
We don't have jobs here.
No, nothing holding us, being virtual. It's like you can go anywhere. But if we really want to be on the water, and I really want to learn to snorkel well, spearfish, I got my dang spear gun a week or two ago, and it's like, there's no way I could spearfish in this being inexperienced. I'd need some good clean water so that I could see what I was doing to get comfortable and all of that stuff. So is not living in the dirty waters of St. Pete, or pretty much the US. Maybe we get down into the Keys and that changes, but that's different times a year. And so that's kind of what I'm dealing with. Great boat, but it's slow. So for weekly cruising in this water, it is not ideal. So does it need to be something a little bit smaller? Here's the other maybe solution, but still the water's an issue. The water really has me upset, is getting rid of the other boat, getting a decent sized dinghy, 11.5 foot dinghy, and then getting a decent outboard on it, say 20 horse, so that when I want to go fishing or anything else, I can still get to the Gulf in decent time, because that'd plane out pretty good. But then it's just me by myself and not weekly cruising with the family. So those are some of the things I'm thinking about. We'll, I guess, sort them out over the coming months. I still think the plans are to get over to the Bahamas and again see if we like that. Maybe we don't like that. Maybe, I don't know why we wouldn't, but maybe we don't. So it's not like a rash decision is coming. I'm thinking ideal maybe then too would be, again, maybe that upper 30s, 40 foot something that's good maybe to live aboard for a month at a time to go on good trips and still live on shore. Live in a condo or a house. That's ideal, but then again, then you have double expenses on everything. So just some things that are kind of plotting through my mind. So I'm going to turn it over to Stacy.
Hi.
And hopefully I didn't take all the fun stuff and see what she's got to say.
I was just thinking about how, or actually what I was going to talk about, because I'm very random.
You hold
So I was just thinking to break it down a little bit.
Break it down.
To help keep me on track. What I like the most about living on the boat would be the size of it. I love being on the water.
Size matters, folks.
I love being on the water all the time. I do. I think another thing that helps that situation is that we are in a slip and we are in downtown St. Pete. And downtown St. Pete is the place to be in Pinellas County, I think. Lots of stuff going on there. Everything's very convenient, so we can walk. We walk most of the week, or we ride our bike. We are barely driving our car, and I love that. And St. Pete just has a great vibe. So I love our location. I love being in the slip. I like living on a boat with the kids. They really enjoy it. We have the full-size fridge, the full-size kitchen for a boat. It's great. I guess I would like to go out more. That's hard with the kids in sports once a week, and then they have their homeschool co-op once a week. So it would be fun to go out for shorter trips during the week and just to be able to go to the Gulf side without spending a lot of time in the boat. And that is a factor, like Jeff said, just the time that it takes to get to some of our favorite spots. I think I will love the Bahamas, and I guess time will tell. And I guess living on the hook with a dinghy isn't as scary to me as it sounded 6 months ago before we even moved on here to live full time. And these are our little first world problems, but everyone has them. If you own a home, you have your own little problems. You know, you want this countertop, this tile, do we fence, do we do this? So everyone's got those. So that's kind of what's on my heart. And I do want to spend more time snorkeling, getting a fishing license, and actually fishing and watching Jeff catch some fish, and so we can eat more fish. And I'd like to get the kids out and get more of those experiences as well, as that's what we had planned a few months ago. But overall, I am liking living on here. It's a great time, and I think I'm a badass. We can always bleep that out, right? Because not many women would do this, and so I think it's pretty cool that I am enjoying it and that I can just share how much I love it. Because like I said, not many women would agree to do this with their husband or their family.
Yeah, that's a good point. We should probably mention too, she was not forced.
No. No.
This did go on for a while, because again, when we looked a year and a half ago, she was not nearly as into it at all. And that's probably why it never developed anything, because it's like I didn't press it because I don't want to be the one doing it and everyone else hating it. But it just, like this time it was like, hey, you know, the more we love the water and everything else, the more it just opened doors. And so yeah, our slip is the bomb too, because we have great view. Now it's starting to open up with the pier. All those things are great. We have a quick shot out. I mean, again, my whiny little stuff with people coming in and out, regular boaters that aren't marina people, they don't care that they leave big wakes and it makes us rock in our slip or anything else. So again, those are small things. I think that's just a people thing. But yeah, this is, you know, completely unforced. It just kind of fell in her lap and everyone felt good about it. And so we made the choice to do it. But she is pretty awesome because, yeah,
Thanks.
You don't see a whole lot of others. Our North Dock has one other full-time girl in it. One other, right?
Is that not Vanessa? Is she
Jessica.
full-time? Oh, Jessica.
Yeah, because Vanessa's another girl, but she is not full-time live on. She's there a couple of days a week. But otherwise, it's guys. And so,
Which
yeah.
I like guys. I don't talk
Guys
to the
are
guys.
so much easier.
I don't talk to the guys a lot. We're nice to each other. It's not like I'm trying to do life with them. But I'm totally fine with guys. Easier, less drama,
Yeah.
less second guessing ourselves, all that. So
So that's us. That's our thoughts. Do me a favor, drop some comments, which I need, are thoughts on solving the problems. I don't think we can solve the water problem with a couple of people. That'll take a lot of people and some really pissed off people to get in the pockets of whoever's doing it in St. Pete to clean up the water. And that's going to take a year, 2, 3, 10 years, whatever it is, if you can ever do it. But boat size and solutions on that. Something, like I said, maybe that comfortably goes 15, 20 knots in the maybe 40-ish foot range that still has 2 staterooms, or even a stateroom and 2 bunks or something like that, so it'll sleep 4, that can still get comfortably there. Throw us some thoughts on what you see that, and we'll do some research on it. What's the other stuff? Favorite spots maybe in the Bahamas, again, because we're going to be hitting there, so always looking. And maybe some of the untalked about things, because you can go on Google and find tons of great places in the Bahamas. I get that. Maybe hit some places that aren't on the map quite as much that you came across that you really like, because I really like locals when I go to places like that, and I'm not looking for the touristy type of stuff. So drop us some comments. If you're new to the channel, please definitely subscribe, give us a like, and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
The breeze today is amazing. You got the doors and windows open. This is the part that I cannot complain. Just chilling, kids are jumping, digging it.